Yeah, I'm great. On week 8, let's see. I continue to squeal on crazy high. I wish I could control it better.
Cool. Yeah, love it. So you want a little bit more control when you're squealing.
Yes.
Yeah, Heidi, what did we learn about control a couple days ago?
All right. Well, for me, the more I try to control, the worse it gets because I just create tension. But what did we say? That's a good question. It's kind of the let go and enjoy thing
Well, we
going
talked
there.
about we talked about two kinds of control.
The unhealthy type is sorry, it is the type that's going to create a lot of tension and micromanaging and not trusting and that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's not actually control, it's actually insecurity. A really great metaphor for understanding this is the difference between true confidence and arrogance or compensatory confidence, which is actually coming from insecurity. So if you see someone walking around and they're all puff their chest up and that's not actually confidence, and you might say, "Oh, that guy's really confident, or that girl's really confident," but it's not the case. They're actually really insecure, and they're compensating for their insecurity. The opposite is like true confidence, right? Like you ask it's just you're not worried about it, you're not insecure, and the absence of that insecurity, the absence of any polarity, actually creates this sort of centered, just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to do this thing, no problem, right? You don't need to like bolster yourself up, like, oh yeah, I can do this, da, da, da. You just do it. Same thing with control. There's control that comes from doubt, and that's compensatory attempts to control, and that's usually tension, micromanaging, not trusting, exactly what Heidi said. And then there's control, which is like true control, I would say. Unhealthy control versus true control or healthy control. True control is just understanding what you can do and doing it. And that's what Heidi and I were talking about, was understanding the margin of error on what you can do. So for example, I have I played like two notes today, but I can guarantee you that I can play a high C within a third on either side right now. I would bet $10,000 I can get within a third of high C. I would not bet $10,000 that I would get high C right now. Um, and and so my control is just within a window, and that's fine. And that window has changed. You know, when I was a kid, like within a third of high C wasn't a thing that I had that control for, even recently. So I could probably get within a second, or I could just nail it right on the head. And what's funny is that giving myself the margin to miss it within that second is what allowed me to just relaxedly go boop and nail it on the head. It's very paradoxical. It's like that golf study where they put masking tape squares around the golf holes, and they had people like a really tiny square around the hole and a really big square around the hole, and they said, "Okay, everybody, just get the ball within the square." And you know, everybody's aiming for the hole, but you just got to get it within the square. And the group that had the big square around the hole was actually more accurate than the ones that had the tiny square around the hole
Mm.
because of tension. Because it's like, oh no, shit, like that, right? So this is where healthy control comes, is having an appropriate sense of margin when we're aiming, such that we don't go into compensatory tension strategies that actually debilitate our effectiveness. Does that make sense, Mike? When it comes to the horn, and in your particular case with squealing and saying, well, how would I like to get more control? The question is like, well, how does this apply? And the answer is to accept your margins right now. Like,
Okay.
for example, you probably what is it moving between like a fourth when you play a high super high note on either
Yeah,
side?
something like that. Maybe a little less.
Maybe a little less. So what you want to do is you want to expect that it's going to be within a fourth, right? Because that's what happened yesterday, in a sense. And then aim to just, oh, can I get it within a third? Not, can I get it to be this exactly this note all the time? Because that's going to make you tense up. That's going to be
Okay.
unhealthy control.
Morris, I remember you saying to focus on making progress, not perfect. And that was
Hmm.
part of narrowing the margins of error in the process.
Yeah, exactly.